Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is day 2 of Ebertfest, and we made a commitment that we're being on time. We were on time last night. We didn't want to leave you in the theater hanging. This morning, the only reason we're slightly delayed by like maybe 60 seconds is we had to let everybody in. There's a rush line, and we wanted to make sure that everybody is in. But as I'm looking around, one of the things I'm really, really happy about is that we were able to have the reserved seating. How many of you like the reserved seating option? And I think it's someone's name, their last name, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, W-A-R-M-B-R-U-N-N. Rumbrun was one of the ones who made a suggestion about reserved seating. Now, I think this was during COVID. We were thinking about we showed 1 or 2 films online, but as Nate said, I think he said last night, we made a commitment to in-person festivals because we know some film festivals went all online, and we just didn't want to do it that way because so much of this festival is about people being together and talking to each other and all of that stuff. And so, and frankly, during the great pause, we all had meetings and family gatherings over Zoom, and you just get all zoomed out. I mean, I did anyway, and sometimes you get tired of it. And if Zoom is the only way that you can do it, that's one thing, because it did save a lot of us. It saved us, it saved our sanity, and it helped us to connect with people when we couldn't connect in person. But after a while, as soon as we could get together, we said we're going to do this. The other thing I wanted to mention is there's let me see. Oh my, why am I remembering people's last names and not their first names? There's a psychologist here. His last name is, I forgot his last name too, Soldan. Anyway, he's been here. He's been here all but one. Will you please stand and tell me your name? If you're here this morning, where's the psychologist? Oh, hi. Wait, are you the one I saw this morning on the elevator? Okay, what's your name?
Randy Soland. That's like Poland only with an S.
Oh, Randy Soland, yes. Okay, now, I did something last night inadvertently that I didn't plan to do. So I told you, when we were watching those movies, Summer of Soul, that I graduated, from high school. I went to college in 1969, and some people were surprised. They said, we always thought you were Roger's child bride. And I said, actually, no. So now you know this year, and I'm proud of it, I'm 70 years old. So this is what 70 looks like today, and I'm proud of it. Now, my birthday isn't until October, and what I'm planning to do is get as many 70-year-olds as I can together and do a photo shoot of the savvy 70s. So, now, okay, so now that's another one of my secrets. I always tell all my secrets up here, so this morning, I'm going to tell you another secret. We have a movie that I love, and it's about golf, but I'm not really a golfer, but I love the movie anyway. That's not a big secret, except that I'm now dating someone. That's another secret I'm telling you. Oh my God. It's hard for me to tell you guys this because you've been with me so many years. This is the 9th year since Roger passed away, and we all love him, and I know he's happy for me too. but I'm dating someone. And he's a golfer. So now I have to decide, am I gonna play golf? Roger and I played golf a little bit. We went to St. Andrews in Scotland, and we played golf there because how can you go to Scotland and not play golf? And say, oh yeah, I was in St. Andrews, even though I had no idea what I was doing. So this morning, we're gonna introduce Michael Barker of Sony Pictures Classics, but you know what I'm gonna do this morning? I'm gonna read to you a little bit about what Michael's done because he's been such a good friend of the festival, but so we sometimes take his credits for granted, and I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna take anybody for granted. Okay, here's one of those Chaz moments because this makes me really, the quarantine taught me, don't take anybody for granted. The next day is not promised to you. I've seen people suffer, and I've seen people pass that I wished I had said things to while they were here. I don't want to take anybody for granted, and not at this festival, and not any of our good friends of the festival, not our sponsors, not you who've been coming for so many years. I don't want to take you for granted, so that's just, I got that out, and now let me go back to reading this. Michael Barker is the co-president and co-founder of Sony Pictures Classics with Tom Bernard. They've distributed and produced some of the finest independent movies over the past 40 years. Previously, he was an executive at United Artists, and he went on to co-found Orion Classics and Sony Pictures Classics. Barker's films have received 159 Academy Award nominations and 36 wins, including 5 for Best Documentary Feature and 12 for Best Foreign Language Film. He's won 23 Golden Globe Awards. He's collaborated with some of the world's finest filmmakers, including Pedro Almodovar, Mike Lee, and Louis Malle, all of whom he's worked with on multiple occasions. They were recently awarded the esteemed French Legion of Honor in acknowledgement for their contributions to French culture over the past 30 years. And I was fortunate to present them an award by Women in Film because in their films, they counted, and the women in film, before they gave them this award, counted that they had given opportunities to something like 70 women in the industry, more than some of the other studios put together. So please help me welcome this morning to introduce our film, Michael Barker.
Wow. I didn't make all those films and win all those awards. Those were the filmmakers that won those awards. Listening to her speak, I actually think Roger predicted moments like these. He kind of knew when he sprung things into action that there would be results, and he kind of saw how things would play out. And I think he predicted an event like this, you know? My relationship with him goes all the way back to when I was in high school in Texas, and I saw him at a film festival, I think it was 1970, in Dallas, Texas, and my entire relationship with him was about movies and about books. And we never talked about interpersonal things or personal things for decades. And I remember when he started with Chaz and Nate, Overlooked Film Festival, before it was called Ebertfest. And I think it was the third year. He said, "You should come, just show up." So I showed up, and I sat back there, watched a few movies, went late at night to the parties and kind of enjoyed myself, met many people, many filmmakers I had known before and new ones, and I really enjoyed it. So I started coming, just showing up, seeing a few films, and it was like a respite from me from my normal job. It didn't feel like work at all. And about after I'd come a few years, he said, why don't you go up and introduce a movie? I said, I can't do that. I hide in the bushes. I don't really talk, you know. Yeah, I want you to do this. And so he had me introduce La Dolce Vita. And I knew all about the film, and he knew I knew all about films. And so I came up and introduced it, and I had one serious problem. I said, Roger, this is called the Overlooked Film Festival, and I figured out in 1960 dollars were transferred to dollars of 2004 that film would have done $180 million in the US. How do you call it the Overlooked Film Festival? And he laughed, you know. But he started asking me to speak. And I actually have become a confident speaker because of Roger. I was always very self-confident. And I was always very self-conscious about speaking. And to come here every year and to do this, I have since done it in many other places too. And it's something he had in his mind that this was going to work out. But you never talked about these things with Roger. And the through line is really the films, is really a theater like this. May they always continue. May this theater never be knocked down. We need this experience. And I don't know about the rest of you, but how much did we miss not coming here to watch a movie, to communicate with a movie, and to share it with each other? And it's really revelatory to be here again. And I will always come as long as I'm invited. And this movie, this is an odd one because we haven't released this movie at all. Chaz called me and Nate called me and said, hey, we have an opening. Do you have a movie you'd recommend? And I recommended all these older films, you know, which maybe we'll do in the future, they'll do in the future. And then my partner, Tom Bernard, and I said, wait a minute. The idea is to gather people together and enjoy the screen and communicate. We have this comedy that no one has seen yet that we're going to open on June 3rd, and it is a lot of fun, and it was meant to be seen the way you are seeing it. And this is a movie, it's almost like a Preston Sturges comedy. The only thing is, believe it or not, everything in this movie is true. Everything in this movie happened, and if you stay for the credits, you will actually see the real people. And the only other thing I want to say is that Mark Rylance is one of the great actors in the English-speaking language. And his ability at comedy, what you see here, is an actor at the peak of his form in comedy. And he doesn't show it off. He just does it naturally. And when you think about great acting, you have to include Sally Hawkins. And even though she supports Mark Rylance, watch her very carefully because she also gives a spectacular performance. But the idea of this movie is to kind of enjoy life and to think about your potential in life, no matter what level you're in, and of proficiency, and enjoy it. And it's so great to be here with you, to enjoy it with you. So, enjoy it.